Okay, find all the rational zeros and factor the polynomial completely. Okay, the first thing we need to do is to find all the possible rational zeros, all possible combinations. To do that, we're going to have to take the factors of the last number over the factors of the first number. Okay, so let's take a look at those. So from 6 we get plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, and plus or minus 6. And from 3 we get plus or minus 1 and plus or minus 3. So we're going to simplify those, perform the division. So from the division by 1 or negative 1 we get plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, and plus or minus 6. And division by plus or minus 3, we get 1/3, so plus or minus 1/3. Now, we also get 2 over 3. Three over 3 gives us 1 again, and 6 over 3 gives us 2. So we already have those covered, so we don't need to redo those again. So to help us out and shorten the process, we're going to use a graph of this. Now, normally if you don't have a calculator and can graph it, you actually have to test all these different roots with synthetic division until you get to the right one. But we're going to just look at the graph real quick and see if we can narrow it down. Okay, so here's the graph. You can zoom in a little more if you need to on your calculator, but it gives us an idea. So as I'm looking at this, it appears that there is a root at -2. So I'm going to try this one and see if it works. So we write down all the coefficients of our polynomial. And let's do the synthetic division. So bring down the 3. 3 times -2 is -6. Add the column. -2 times -10 gives me 20. So I add the column again. So we get 3, and -2 times 3 is -6. So this ends up having a remainder of 0, so this is indeed a root of this polynomial. So I can take this now and write it in factored form as far as I can. So we have f of x equals, now when you write the factor, remember to write it as the opposite sign because it's actually minus negative. And the rest of this is now what we get from the long division are our coefficients. So we have 3x squared. Remember to do 1 power less than what we have, which is cubed. So this one is going to be squared. Minus 10x plus 3. Okay, so now we still need to factor the quadratic. And for that, you can use any of the methods you have previously learned, such as, in this case, maybe the inner-outer table or whatever other method you're familiar with. So I'm just going to give you the factors here. If you need to look up how to do those methods, go ahead and do that. But we get 3x minus 1 and x minus 3. That's what this quadratic factors to. So this is our polynomial in factored form. Now if you needed to list the zeros, our zeros would be -2, which we found above. And then from the quadratic, if you set each factor equal to 0 and solve it, we get 1/3 and 3. Okay, so that completes the problem.